Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of College Hockey Talk. On today's episode, I am joined by junior from the Sacred Heart hockey team, Kevin Lombardi. Kevin, welcome to the podcast, and how's everything going?
How's it going? Yeah, thanks for having me. But no, everything's good here. Can't wait to get going for this weekend.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on, and I'm doing well myself. So just talk about your recent series against Boston University. What did you take away from it, and what did you learn from this series that's going to benefit your team heading forward as the regular season goes on?
Yeah, definitely. We split with Boston University this weekend. I think Friday night we came out flying. Uh, Personally, I think we dominated that game and we deserved to win that one. And then on Saturday night, I think they kind of just came out with some revenge, and we just didn't match up to their standards there. But thing I would take away from that weekend is, I think it was our first weekend that we had back-to-back games. So I think just realizing that on the second day we just got to play as hard as we did the night before. So I think moving forward we just got to work on that.
And how good did it feel to get your first win for this season?
Yeah, definitely was awesome. Came late, so it was really exciting. My line made a great play there at the end, so it was just awesome to finally get our first win here. Hopefully we could keep moving forward.
Now, has it been an adjustment playing non-conference teams for the first time since your freshman year? And does your approach change when you play teams in Hockey East versus teams in Atlantic Hockey?
No, I think the approach definitely stays the same. It just comes down to we don't really know much about them. They don't really know much about us. So I think we just have to adjust on, how we play, play our game the right way. And I think the rest just takes care of itself.
Now, how have the freshmen looked in your opinion so far, and how have you helped their transition into college hockey?
Yeah, so we have two freshmen here. Hunter Sansbury is a defenseman. He's a strong physical player. So he actually just won Rookie of the Week for the Atlantic. So it's awesome to see for that. And then we have a left wing, Ebo. He's a fast skater, shoots the puck hard. So I think as he gets adjusted here, he's going to be a really good player for us.
And I noticed that your team has a lot of transfers coming in. How are they fitting into the team, and what's it been like to play with new players from different teams?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. It was a crazy year with the transfer portal going the way it was. But no, we've been accepting to them and they've been accepting to us. So coming in, you're not sure what you're going to get or who you're going to get. So it's definitely crucial just to make sure that they buy in. We just give them the same respect that they give us.
Now, what have you personally taken away from the season so far after just a couple of games?
Personally, I think I just got to play more like a physical game. I'm a bigger kid out there, so I think just finishing my check, taking pucks to the net, I think that's when I'm most successful. So it's definitely something I want to be conscious of and working on all season to help our team win.
Now, you're obviously an upperclassman this year, so what type of leadership do you want to bring to the team? Are you more of a vocal leader or lead by example type of player?
I definitely speak up when I feel like it's needed, but I'm more of like a lead by example. Like I think I take pride in being one of the hardest working guys out there, and I think if guys see me working hard, like other guys will start working hard.
And what are your goals and expectations for the season for yourself personally and for the team as the season goes on? Is it kind of just Atlantic Hockey Championship or bust, or is there other things you want to accomplish?
It's definitely we want to win the Atlantic and make it to the tournament like every team does. But I think it's just going to come down to who wants it more. And I think we just have to be playing our best hockey at that time and just let everything take care of itself. I think personally, like I said, just being more of like a power forward mentality. Taking pucks to the net. Getting second chances. I think when I'm doing that, like I would say, pretty hard to stop in front of the net.
And I noticed you play a lot of road games this year in the schedule. Do you like playing road games, and just what's your thoughts on how the schedule is playing out so far?
I'd say it is what it is with the road games, but I do like playing road games. You get to play at rinks that usually play at. I think like we're playing at Maine this weekend. We already heard it's like going to be a sold out barn, so we're all excited to play in front of that. It's also a team that like we never usually play against, so it's definitely pretty cool to do that.
Now, Sacred Heart's getting a new arena. Am I wrong about that? I was reading that somewhere.
Yeah, we're supposed to have our first game next January, so it's exciting. But I think they're a little ahead of schedule here, so I think we're get to move in and start practicing pretty much once we come back next year.
Awesome. That's awesome. Oh, how excited are you to play in that new rink? And what have you heard about it so far, like the dimensions?
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I think it's gonna definitely bring in like a lot of recruits and kind of turn the school more into a hockey school. I think that's like the biggest thing. But yeah, I know they've showed us some pictures of like what it's gonna look like, and it looks pretty awesome. I know they tried modeling after like North Dakota and like Penn State, like took what they liked best out of that. So I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah. Is it cool walking by construction knowing that you're going to be playing in that building one day?
Yeah, it's cool. So all my classes are in like the business building, like right where the rink's getting built. So like I drive by it every day to go to class, and you just see little by little like more things getting added to it. So it's definitely exciting.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to help build the Connecticut hockey scene? Because I know UConn's getting a new arena. It seems like teams in Connecticut and schools in Connecticut are really investing into hockey and trying to make that scene grow.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be exciting. Just like how we do like the Connecticut Ice tournament. I think it's just gonna draw in more local kids. I think how it's definitely gonna help with the recruiting process by far.
Now, transitioning from that, how was your off season, and did you do anything interesting, whether it was hockey related or non-hockey related?
Yeah, so I had a good off season. I have a skating coach I skate with, skills coach I skate with, strength and conditioning coach I work with, and then a speed and agility coach I work with. So I was definitely busy with the hockey part. But my family owns a house on the Jersey Shore, so when I wasn't at hockey, I was kind of just relaxing on the beach with some friends and family. So it was nice to get my mind off of hockey for a little bit and hang out and enjoy my life.
Nice. That sounds awesome. Well, how is training going for yourself? What are you working on right now to improve your game during the middle of the regular season?
Yeah, training's going well. I think what I do at the end of every practice is I work on tips. Just like I said, being a big kid just in front of the net, just getting all that stuff down, just trying to be the best player I could be.
And is that one area of your game you're hoping to improve on as the season goes on, or is there other areas you're trying to improve on?
I'd say yeah, I could always improve on pretty much everything. Definitely skating. It's being a bigger kid, you're not the fastest one out there, and I just gotta, like I said, like work on my body positioning in front of the net. But yeah, I definitely take pride of going to the net and working on tips, rebounds, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that's what your team was focusing on because as I was talking to you before the recording, how I went to that UConn Sacred Heart game and you scored that goal against UConn just by a deflection on the net. Is that something your team's also working on besides just yourself?
Yeah, definitely. There's always guys working on tips and stuff at the end of practice, and it's definitely just an area that like people don't really focus on, but it's really a crucial part. Like when you're in front of the net, it's like if you could tip it, it's pretty good chance it's gonna go in. So definitely just gotta keep working on that.
Now, did you face any challenges compared to last year preparing for the upcoming season with the pandemic kind of slowing down but still kind of going on?
No, so actually, last summer, the gym I was going to, I was fortunate enough that it was still open, but like it was like small groups, and like I was able to work out, skate there. So nothing really changed for me this summer. So I was kind of fortunate enough to have all that to me last year.
Yeah, and do you think that gives you an advantage versus other players who might not have that luxury just because where they're from, gyms might be closed and they have to kind of work out from home?
Yeah, I'd say it gave me a little bit of advantage, but at the same time, like we're all trying to get to the next level. So like if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, like it's gonna come back to bite you. So you just got to be ready and just keep working, and that's how it goes.
Well, I want to talk about the beginning of your hockey career. So you're from Pennsylvania. Talk about growing up there and how'd you start playing hockey?
Yeah, so I started skating when I was 2 years old. I have an older brother who I obviously always looked up to when I was younger, still do. But just going to his games, like his practices, I always just wanted to be around the ice and like on the ice and stuff. But yeah, it's just like more and more players are coming out of Pennsylvania that are getting to the next level, which is exciting to see.
Who was your favorite player growing up? Was it someone on the Penguins or was it someone on the Flyers?
So I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this one. So I'm a Flyers fan, but my favorite player growing up was Sidney Crosby. Even though I play nothing like him, he was just a new guy in the league, and he was always the best player every night. So hate to say that, but that's who it was growing up.
Not Mike Richards, Danny Briere. I'm trying to think of those
I
old Flyers
definitely no,
names.
I definitely loved watching those guys too. I like Mike Richards a lot. So
I think Mike Richards right now is one of the most underrated players from back in the day. I feel like he doesn't get talked about enough because he did
No,
everything right. He was a great leader, and he was a big reason why LA won those cups when he got traded down there.
yeah, definitely. And he wore 18 with the Flyers, and then growing up, I wore 18 because of him too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, before Sacred Heart, you played in the USHL. How'd you get the opportunity to play in that league, and what's the process like for making a USHL team?
Yeah, so the year before I got drafted to the USHL, I played a year at Northwood, which is a prep school in Lake Placid, New York, which is still, I'd say, one of the best experiences I've ever had. It's just a beautiful area, really good team we had there, coaching staff. But yeah, so at the end of the year, the USHL had its draft, and I was fortunate enough to get drafted by Cedar Rapids. So that was definitely exciting.
No, talk about your experience in the USHL. What was it like, and what do you take away from it when you look back on it now?
When I look back on it now, I definitely grew as a person in it. Like it was definitely some of the first times I've like not been on like power play, penalty kill, like stuff like that. You just have to learn that you have to be the best at your role. Like every kid has a role, and like you just have to be the best at that, like stuff like that. But it's definitely taught me a lot. It was a really skillful league and fast league, so it just kind of got me ready for college.
How did you adjust being far away from home for the first time, especially at a young age as well?
Yeah, it was definitely tough not having, family at your games all the time, but my parents definitely made the effort to come out a lot. So it was really nice having them out there. But no, I had two good host families, so everything worked out well.
And what's it like living with those host families? It seems like at first it probably is a bit awkward just because you're living at someone else's house for like a few months.
Yeah, it's definitely a little weird in the beginning, but no, they're accepting. Just like you have to treat them like it's your own parents too. Like you can't just gotta just make your bed, do all the dishes, take out trash, stuff like that. But no, they're awesome people. Like, but it's definitely great having a roommate too.
Who was your roommate?
Aaron Grounds, he's actually on a AIC right now, so it's fun playing against him during the years.
Good chirping that goes on with those games.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, awesome. Now, when you look back on your kind of USHL experience, how did it help prepare you for college hockey?
Yeah, like I said, it was a fast like skill league, so I think just the game speed that got me ready for college. I would say the only difference between the USHL and college, me personally, I think it's just like the kids are just stronger. I think the speed is the same, to be honest, but I think just the stronger kids are stronger in college.
Now, what was your recruitment process like, and what made you want to go to Sacred Heart versus other schools you might have looked at the time?
Yeah, so I kind of had a unique college experience. So I was originally committed to Michigan State when I was at Cedar Rapids, and that fell through. No hard feelings there. Just hopefully get to play those guys one day. But Sacred Heart was actually the first school I ever talked to, and it's kind of just crazy how it came full circle there. So I couldn't be happier to be where I'm at.
And what was the biggest adjustment you had to make to college hockey? Like you said, the speed was kind of the same, but you said people were a lot stronger. So was it kind of just that physicality aspect since you're going against guys that are 4 years older than you were, especially when you're a freshman?
Yeah, definitely the physicality part, especially being in Atlantic. I think it's like a physical league. Guys tend to be a little bit older. So I think freshman year to sophomore year, I made a big adjustment with how I trained in the summer. I did more heavier weights in the gym just to get my body right for that. So that's just how it went.
Now, one player I had on the podcast last year was Austin Mickelmurray, and he was telling me how CJ Maritol was a really key part of growing Sacred Heart's program to where it is today and just kind of how he developed him as a player. So I have to ask you, what's it like playing under him as a coach, and how has he helped your development so far?
Yeah, he's definitely helped me. He's a really good coach. He has a lot of connections too. But no, he takes the extra step to make sure that he asks you like how you're doing, how your family's doing. Like he takes the extra step to get to know you as a person, not just a player, which I think values like a lot of guys respect towards him.
Now, your team had a really successful freshman year when you were with them. Just talk about the success that your team had, especially with the veteran guys that your team had, like Michael Murray, and just the things that you accomplished that season.
Yeah, that was definitely a really exciting year. Sucks the way it ended, but nothing you can really do about it now. So But no, those seniors were like great leaders. They'd call you in the summer to make sure, like, ask you how you were doing, if you needed anything. Just they just made the transition to college so much easier for all the freshmen coming in, which I think helped our team.
And you won the Connecticut Ice tournament that season. So what was it like playing in that tournament and being the best team in Connecticut and getting some bragging rights?
Yeah, that was definitely awesome. I still think to this day that was one of the best days I had here. But no, just like after we beat Quinnipiac, I think they were ranked like ninth at the time, so it was definitely really exciting. And that was the same weekend the school announced that about the new rink coming in, so it couldn't happen at a better time. But no, all the support we had from like alumni, school, teachers, and stuff was awesome. So.
And to win it in your home ice arena at Webster Bank, did that make it even more special?
Oh yeah, it was definitely more special. The fans, students there. It was awesome just to have all those guys there. Hopefully we could repeat it this year. I'm looking forward to that weekend.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, unfortunately, the season was canceled that year right before the Atlantic hockey tournament began. So where were you when you found out that news, and what was your reaction to that?
I think it was right around we were all getting to the rink because we were just starting our first game of playoffs. I think we were playing Robert Morris, so we were all just arriving to the rink when we found out. But no, I just remember like looking at all the seniors like who knew it was done for them. Just like like just seeing them cry and stuff is definitely tough.
And do you play for those seniors after that happened, kind of just realizing that they never got to finish their season? So you kind of want to win an Atlantic Hockey Championship for them as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think Sacred Heart, I don't think has ever won the Atlantic, so I think that's something that we all want to do, and I think it's something we can all accomplish this year. So I think definitely that's when we. I like I said, we do. What I think it's definitely something that's in the back of our mind when we play.
Now, your sophomore year was a little bit different because your team had to deal with a lot of challenges because of the pandemic. What was the key through getting through all those challenges, and how did you personally deal with them, especially not playing in front of fans, kind of having an inconsistent schedule as well?
Yeah, it was definitely tough for sure, but at the same time, every other team's dealing with it, so you just had to be ready to go. You don't know if you're going to play that weekend or when you're going to play next, but just being ready. Like you can't take the time off to do things that's not going to benefit you on the ice. So you just always have to stay ready and just be ready to go.
Now, you lost to Army in the Atlantic Hockey Playoffs that season, in a heartbreaking fashion, losing in 3 overtimes. So, just talk about that game and how are you using that game as motivation for this season?
Yeah, that game was definitely tough. There's a lot of bounces. It could have went either way. There was plenty of chances for both teams to finish it off early in the play or in the overtime there. But no, it was definitely a unique situation for me personally because right before that I had one practice and one pregame skate within a month. So I kind of just jumped right into that game because of all the COVID issues. So it was definitely a crazy game for me personally. But I think definitely looking forward to playing those guys this year and kind of getting some revenge back on them.
Yeah, when you're going through those 3 overtimes, how do you like try to mentally, I guess, stay focused? Because like you said, you only had like one basically practice before that game. What was like your mindset going through that overtime and trying to stay energized through it?
I think just the mindset was knowing that if we lost, we were done. So just like kind of look around the room, you see seniors that, that they're done with hockey, like if we lose this game. So it kind of gives you the motivation to try and win it for them. But unfortunately, we fell a little short there. But definitely, like I said, looking forward to getting those guys back this year.
I heard Army has one of the best rinks in the Atlantic. Is that true?
Yeah, I like playing at the rink, but I personally think RIT has the best rink in the Atlantic. I think
Hmm.
I played there just my freshman year, and it was pretty packed rink, so it was definitely cool to play there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm excited for are you excited to get back to the full Atlantic hockey slate, not just playing a select number of teams?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. Just like I said, I only played a couple of those teams my freshman year, so it'll be exciting. I have some friends on the team that I want to get the upper hand on.
Nice. Well, we're now in a segment I like to call the non-hockey segment, where I kind of just ask you some non-hockey questions just to get to know you a little bit off the ice. So my first question too is, if you could do anything for a day, what would that be and why?
If I could do anything for the day, I think I would travel the world. I think kind of being athlete, you don't really get the opportunities. Like when kids go on spring break, like you got to stay here, you got to keep working. So it's just like I think just traveling the world would be a pretty cool experience.
Where would you go to first?
I think I'd want to go to like Italy. Being an Italian, I think that's definitely a spot I got to go to.
Yeah,
Sooner.
I'm actually interested to see like what the food's like in Italy versus like here in America and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'd be definitely curious to see that.
Hmm.
Heard it's really good though.
Oh, it's definitely good both ways.
Yeah,
I just have to see like what the difference is, just
yeah,
because there's probably some things that they do differently down there.
yeah. I agree.
Now, if you could have lunch with anyone in the world, kind of towing off that topic with food, who would that person be and why?
Definitely gonna get hate for this one again, but I think I'd have to say probably like as a hockey player or anyone.
Or it
Tough.
could be anyone dead or alive.
Ooh, dead or alive. I think Adam Sandler would be a good one. I was gonna say hockey player, but I'm gonna stay away from hockey there. But I think Adam Sandler would be a funny guy to go with. I love watching his movies and stuff, so I think we'd have a lot of laughs there.
What would the first question be about, like Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison? Like, which movie you're gonna talk to them about first?
Ooh, that's tough. I think Happy Gilmore is definitely my top one with him. That's
Mhm.
just a classic.
Oh yeah, that's a great, great movie. I like the thing he did. I don't know if it was this year, but like when he kind of recreated one of the scenes with Happy Gilmore with him like running with the drop,
Yeah,
like it was super cool. And then Shooter McGavin like responded to it on Twitter. It was like super
yeah, I
cool.
saw that. That was awesome.
Now, speaking of your teammates, who's the funniest teammate you have at Sacred Heart?
Funniest teammate. I'd say Patrick Dawson. He's my roommate here, so definitely got to shout him out a little bit. But no, we just have a good relationship on and off the ice, so we're always kind of making jokes.
Now, who has the best chirps on the team?
Best chirps on the team, I would have to say Cody Hoban. He just kind of just says a lot of funny stuff too. You don't really know what he's gonna say, but it's usually pretty funny.
Now, who has the cleanest locker room on the team?
Cleanest locker room. Uh, I would say I think everyone's pretty clean. Our
Mhm.
equipment manager does a good job making sure everyone's stuff's the same. He's pretty picky with that. So if it's messy, you're gonna hear it. But no, everyone's overall pretty clean here.
Now, final teammate question is who has the best style on the team besides yourself?
Best style. It's hard to say suit style right now, just because we've had one game where we wore suits. But I'd say like off the ice and like when we all hang out and go out, I'd say Dan Patrick. He's got some pretty good style.
Awesome, awesome. Well, back to some hockey questions now. My first question to you is like, what advice would you give a younger player who's listening to this podcast, who's trying to make it to D1 level for college hockey?
I would say just keep working hard. You never know who's watching, and I think one thing that is really valuable that not many people talk about is you just have to be a good person off the ice just as well as you're a good player. I think if it comes down between you and another player, they're 9 times out of 10 going to take the kid who's like better kid off the ice. So just like doing the little things right, you just got to be ready to go whenever.
Well, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to your teammates? I know we kind of talked about some of them in the non hockey segment, but if there's anyone you forgot to mention, feel free to shout them out or just any family members or friends you might have who don't play hockey.
Yeah, definitely shout out my family members there. My parents, my brother, they always support me. First one to tell me I had a good game, definitely the first one to tell me I had a bad game. So they just kind of made everything possible for me to get to this point, and then just couldn't thank them enough.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate your time. I wish you all the best for the rest of the season, and hopefully I get to see your team play again in person sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely. No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now, one question I want to ask you, and